stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
After 3 races in the United States, it is time for the SCL Cup Series to make its annual trip over to Japan. It is the Neko 150 here at the Twin Ring Motegi Oval Circuit here on Sim Racing Media. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. It is going to be a fun night here at Twin Ring Motegi. We've been here a couple of times with this series already. We have loved every single race. It has been great racing all the way through, and it plans to be that same great racing one more time. We have 25 drivers that will be set to take on Twin Ring Motegi here this evening, and we'll show you now the point standings that these drivers will be in as we enter this race. Michael Matta jumping up all the way to the points lead after finishing 3rd at Kansas last week. Matthew McMeekin staying in 2nd. Mark Brown also holding course in 3rd position. A bad week for Isaac Love has dropped him out of the points lead to 4th. Eric Schaus moving up quite a bit as well. A couple of other guys moving up a lot in the point standings, and you will see that as you will with how many points are on offer each week. Remember, this is the old NASCAR Cup Series point standing system that we are running, and with it being so early in the season, guys are going to be making big moves up and down the point standings. We have one series debutante, at least from what I can remember, entering this race here tonight. That would be Carolus Theed. He will be in the 351 car here this evening, and Derek Gilray will be making his first start, winner of the season opening race at Daytona a couple of seasons ago. Derek Gilray will be making his first start of the year here as we get set now to go into the qualifying session. Looking and waiting for cars to jump out on track, and I believe it will be the aforementioned, there he is, Derek Gilray, who will be the first driver out onto the racing surface for this qualifying attempt. 5 minutes qualifying session here at Motegi, so this will go rather quick, as you guys can see already. It is a big, wide, fast racetrack. This is not the first time that NASCAR has been here. If you remember, in the late 1990s, the NASCAR would come over here to do an exhibition race at the end of the season. I believe it was 98 and 99. They came here to do the exhibition races. The first couple of years it was held at Suzuka, as Gilray wiggling a little bit coming out of turn 2. On his first attempt here at this qualifying run. Austin Call in the 18 looking really, really fast already. A little bit of a low exit there from Derek Gilray, as there is Austin Call. And Austin Call will set the fastest time at the moment of a 36.97. Just quickly taken over by Michael Matta. Wow, runs almost a half a second quicker, exactly half a second quicker. And then taken over by Joshua Yarborough. Johnny Wood also getting a very good run, a big disparity in first lap times as Johnny Wood Jr. jumps up to the top of the pile on the first lap at a 36.42. It's even faster still here on this first lap. Well, on the second lap, I should say. Fastest of all the first half of the lap, but it's not really even close. Coming out of turns 3 and 4, half the session gone, half the session to go. Mike Peters goes a 36.39, but it's very short-lived as Johnny Wood Jr. lays down a flyer here in this qualifying session, a 36.16. What a mega lap. As Eric Schaus was up there for a minute. Ooh, big wiggle coming out of turn 4. That's pretty much going to do it for his lap. He'll sit with a 36.46. Does improve ever so slightly. Maxwell Caldwell, last season's winner here at Motegi, goes third quickest. Steven Johnson came up 4/1000ths of a second short of taking his first win of the season at Kansas last week. Johnson currently 13th fastest on the grid right now. And Johnson coming across the line, he will improve to P2, a 36.31, so a very quick time, but boy, Johnny Wood still a 10th and a half clear. So we see Mikhail Robinson coming around to complete his second lap. Lilith Peters about to complete her first. Trevor Dalton coming out to take his first. He'll only get one lap as Mikhail Robinson, goes top 5, 5th quickest. It's the number 1 of Lilith Peters. coming through in that Foxfire Food Chevrolet Camaro. Invalidated first lap, and she's going to really have to hustle here if she wants to get this second lap in. Trevor Dalton's going to be cutting it very, very close. Dalton was the fastest in practice. And Peters coming right down to the bottom over the line, and Peters only manages 14th on her qualifying run. Trevor Dalton will come up short, and that is it. A mega lap from Johnny Wood Jr. puts him on the pole here for today's race. There it is, 36.168 for Johnny Wood Jr. Steven Johnson, 1.3 a tenth of a second, 0.137 seconds off of the pace, off of that pole time, an incredible pole time by Johnny Wood Jr. Mike Peters and Maxwell Caldwell will make up row number 2 with Mikhail Robinson and Joshua Yarborough sitting in row 3. Eric Schaus and Todd Merkel, internet connection issues from last week fixed. He will line up on the outside of row number 4. Justin Lewis and Michael Matta will sit in row number 5. Row 6 will see Jonathan Casebeer and Adam Lowe. Casebeer, remember, did not make it out of the transfer race last week at Kansas. Brendan Kornoyer and Lilith Peters will sit in row 7. Row 8 will go to Ronnie Hurst and Jeremy Flanagan. Mark Brown and Austin Call will sit in row number 9 with Brandon Murray and Derek Gilray in row 10. Carol Steele and Trevor Dalton in row 11. William Solomon and Johnny Lefevers in row 12. Matt Metler will round out the back end of the field here tonight. Thiel, Dalton, Solomon, Lefevers, and Metler lining up via their iRating, as they did not put down qualifying times. Weather conditions for today's race, you can see we are just past noon in sim time. 74-degree ambient temperature, 91-degree track temperature, so it is a rather cool day here at Twin Ring Motegi, and you can see with this overhead shot where the oval lays over what is a very, very fun and really rewarding road course. If you can nail it right, it is such a fun racetrack. It's one of those tracks that's really, really slept on here in the iRacing sim, this Twin Ring Motegi road course. But tonight we are on the oval, as we're just waiting on a couple of drivers here left to get gridded up here. Carol Steele is one of the drivers we are waiting on. Looks like Eric Schaus, Mikhail Robinson, and now just Mike Peters will be the remaining drivers. We see some of them popping in down at the bottom of the screen. It will be 100 laps here from Twin Ring Motegi here this evening. And what great fun we have had here in the past. Some incredible races, incredible finishes that we have seen here in Twin Ring Motegi. Thank you to everyone who is very active in the chat here early on tonight. Would love to keep that up throughout the event. As you see down below, way down below, cars are rolling off as we are getting set to go racing here at Twin Ring Motegi. There is the pole sitter, Johnny Wood. He will be carrying one of our onboard cameras today off the back of that number 750 machine. Todd Merkel will be another one carrying onboard cameras with us here tonight. How about the points leader, Michael Matta, with that Sonic the Hedgehog paint scheme on tonight, carrying one of our onboard cameras. Austin Call back this week after missing out at Kansas last week. carrying a camera tonight as well. So it will be Johnny Wood Jr. and Steven Johnson leading the field down to green here in just a moment as extra pace laps just to make sure we've got everything set and ready to go here this evening. I also want to say something personal as we get going here tonight. On Saturday night, we did the tribute race for our great friend, one of the co-founders of Sim Racing Media. Back then, it would have been BOFA Broadcasting. Tony Trapasso passed away at the beginning of last month, September 5th. We do appreciate everyone who watched that race on Saturday night. Maxwell Caldwell and Michael Matta came right down to it right at the end of that race. Caldwell ended up taking the win in the race, and I said it through a choked up throat and a lot of tears. It was an absolutely fantastic race on Saturday night. If you were one of the many people that watched it, we thank you very much. And if you're one of the few that participated in it from this series, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It meant more than we'll ever know. So I wanted to get that out of the way here early as we get set to go racing. Here from Twin Ring Motegi, Johnny Wood, Steven Johnson at the line. Green flag is in the air. 100 laps from Twin Ring Motegi. We are green. Steven Johnson swings out wide, big time coming through turns 1 and 2. We heard Maxwell Caldwell after the race at Kansas last week say that this is really a one-lane racetrack that fans out into a big, wide couple of straightaways. Drivers feeding into that as it looks like Derek Gilray up along the wall, riding the wall. Same thing with, I believe that might have been Johnny Lefevre's. Yes, it was in that Western Auto, number 45. Back out front, Johnny Wood Jr. starting to pull away. Mikkel Robinson battling to the outside of Maxwell Caldwell, last week's winner. Great run at the start of this race. Ooh, big wiggle there out of Mike Peters. In the 95, able to keep it under control. That'll allow Maxwell Caldwell to get back under Robinson as Michael Matta looks to the inside of Yarborough. Yarborough not able to hold that position in that number 77. As Lilith Peters looking to the inside of the number 6 Fastenal Ford of Jonathan Casebeer. Just behind Justin Lewis, as side-by-side racing they go up here for the second position. Take a look off the back end of Johnny Wood Jr. How long he's having to wait before he can jump back on the throttle. It's only going to get longer as this night progresses. Eric Schaus now coming under fire from Lilith Peters. Peters up 3 positions. That, though, has nothing on Trevor Dalton in that Kodiak number 27, who's looking under Jonathan Casebeer right now. Dalton, with this pass on Casebeer, would be up 9 spots from where he started this race. Again, Dalton fastest in practice. Did not qualify. Mike Peters has gotten around Steven Johnson, and now that's starting to bring as Todd Merkel finds himself slipping off a turn 4, going way low. Allowing a couple of drivers to get by. I believe Adam Lowe got around. Justin Lewis we saw get around, and now coming under fire from Lilith Peters, who's making a move right at her favorite part of the racetrack, that entry to turn 3. Peters continues to move up, as does Trevor Dalton, now looking to the back end of our points leader, Michael Matta. While we've been looking at these battles throughout the field, Mike Peters has now taken the race lead away from Johnny Wood. Steven Johnson as well getting around. So Johnson back up into second. Take a look and see how this happened. This would have been coming through 3 and 4. Peters just gets a better run coming out of turn 4. He's looked very, very good on corner exit here in the early stages of this race. He's able to get the move done on braking going into turn 1. Mikael Robinson trying to look under Maxwell Caldwell. Couldn't make a move. Now coming under threat from Joshua Yarborough, who moves to his outside. Worth noting, 24 cars did start this race. Justin Lewis looks to the inside of Adam Lowe. Carolus Thiel did not make the green flag here tonight. He is the only one. So that would count as a did not start for him. Did not qualify either. Did Thiel in the 351. Further through the back of the field, this is Ronnie Hurst and Jeremy Flanagan battling with the 19 of William Solomon. Looking to make a move, and Solomon backing out in that number 19. Lost a couple of spots there. Not only gave up on the fight with Jeremy Flanagan, also losing out to Johnny Lefevers and Mark Brown. Solomon did not participate last week at Kansas, so losing out on points and ground in the standings was that number 19, Eric Schaus, trying to defend from Austin Call. Call also another driver that did not make it to Kansas last week. Open season finishing second place at Daytona. Did not make it here. Another driver who did not make it to this race tonight, that would be the 93 of Zach Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger, last week's pole sitter. He's also led the most laps in 2 of the 3 races this season. Daytona in the opener of this season, and at Kansas last week, leading the most laps. So Austin Call looking to the inside of Eric Schaus. Has position, has the line, has the momentum coming off the bottom of turn 2 to take the spot. Move Austin Call up into the 12th position. The whole pack, the whole field is more or less together. There's a couple of gaps that are less than a second between the whole field as Johnny Lefevers and Jeremy Flanagan battle side by side. This is 72 of Flanagan on the bottom. Now getting passed up by Mark Brown and Will Solomon. There's only 2 drivers that are not on the big pack. That would be Matt Mettler running in 23rd. He's about 3.5 seconds off of the lead pack. And Derek Gilray, who at this point is about 10 seconds off the lead pack. Everyone else really is within touching distance of the driver in front of them, as here comes Maxwell Caldwell looking to the inside and will take the position away from Johnny Wood. So Wood starting to slip back a little bit here in the early stages of this race. Willis Peters now, boy, swinging to the outside of Trevor Dalton. This is a battle just inside the top 10. Dalton 9th, Peters 10th, Matta just outside. Now Matta side by side with Willis Peters. Looking for the spot. Big wiggle out of Matta. Clip that apron just a little bit, clip that white line. Peters, at least for the moment, she's been very, very good all race long. Going into turn 3, whether it be on the top or on the bottom, she has been exquisite in that braking zone all race. She's able to fight off Michael Matta's challenge. Right on board with Matta down the back straightaway. Big wiggle, that's out of the 87, I believe, of Robinson. It was Mikhail Robinson locking up a little bit going into turn 3. It's going to allow Trevor Dalton to get to the inside, and Robinson now about to lose a couple spots. Peters is holding that inside line so well. She's moved her way up. She stalled out a little bit since getting to the top 10. Robinson now not done losing positions as Michael Matta. Now he is. Matta not able to keep the nose under him. Mike Peters, since getting to the lead, has not only retained it, but he has grown it. 0.6 of a second, biggest lead anyone's had here tonight. And a track where you would figure draft is going to be a big factor here. He's been able to do it well enough through the corners. Pull out of a little bit of a gap on Steven Johnson. Michael Matta now looking to the inside of Mikhail Robinson. And Robinson will drop the spot, move Robinson now out of the top 10. Adam Lowe. Justin Lewis very close, not only to himself, but Lewis very close to the wall as well, coming out of turn 2. Justin Lewis also a part of that tribute race on Saturday night. Working right now with the longest green flag run that we have had to open up a race this season with SCL. Mike Peters right now currently in the race lead. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Maneki Neko 150 here from Twin Ring Motegi. We'll be back right after this. Tonight's race, held at Twin Ring Motegi, is the only international oval that the SCL races at. Tonight's race is named after the Maneki Neko. The Maneki Neko translates to beckoning cat. The story of the Maneki Neko goes that a man was outside of a temple during a lightning storm when he saw a cat in the temple that appeared to be beckoning at him, in. The man decided to go to the cat. As he was headed towards the cat, lightning struck where he was previously standing. This cat figure is thought to bring good luck to those. This is why I usually pre-did these. Thought to bring good luck to those who display it. Which one of the 24 drivers will be lucky enough tonight to be beckoned into victory lane? SCL competition here at Twin Ring Motegi certainly heating up as Trevor Dalton looking to the outside of Adam Lowe, was 3 wide there for a moment. They're still 3 wide as Lilith Peters looking to get in on the action. Michael Matta, Austin Call, Eric Schaus there as well. Couple of takers into pit lane. It appears to be the 6 of Jonathan Casebeer, Ronnie Hurst as well in the 22 coming down pit lane. Derek Gilray has been in the pits to repair damage, and since we have come back, Maxwell Caldwell has taken the race lead away from Mike Peters. John Woods starting also to move up through the field as well as Steven Johnson has fallen back to 4th. Here is that pass for the lead. This is while I was butchering that read. That's the highest up we've seen Mike Peters all race. And it's going to cost him. As Peters now looking back towards the inside. Battle for the race lead between Caldwell, Peters, and Wood. Steven Johnson, Joshua Yarborough there as well. Justin Lewis, since getting past that group of cars that he was in, that we saw him in when we came back, he has gotten away from them. As Trevor Dalton and Adam Lowe, it's Lilith Peters and Trevor Dalton continue to battle. Peters again continuing to slowly move her way up. Same thing with Trevor Dalton. Trevor Dalton right now plus 14 from where he started. Lilith Peters is not the second biggest mover of the race. That actually goes to Will Solomon, who is now up 9 positions from where he started in at number 19. Austin Call battling with Adam Lowe right now. He is 9 positions ahead of where he started if he completes the pass, 8 if he doesn't. Make it 9. And then Lilith Peters plus 7 as Joshua Yarborough looks to the inside of Steven Johnson. Makes the pass. Joshua Yarborough up into 4th. Johnson now looking as though he's starting to fall back a little bit in at number 44. Here comes Justin Lewis to the inside, and now Lewis will take over the 5th spot. So knock Steven Johnson from 2nd since we've come back from break all the way out of the top 5 now as he gets a big wiggle coming out of turn 4. Justin Lewis continuing his march forward. We thank you everyone who is currently joining us wherever you are. Round number 4 of the SCL Winston Cup Series season. The Maneki Neko 150. Here from Twin Ring Motegi. Johnny Wood starting to catch back up and starting to reel in Maxwell Caldwell. Wood has now closed that gap to just about 1/10 of a second. It was as much as 1/2 a second not that long ago. It has now closed itself right back up. Again, Wood, if you're just joining us, qualified on pole about 2/10 of a second faster than anybody else. Led for maybe the first 10 laps or so. Mike Peters took the lead. Ran away, fell back, and then right when we came back from break, Maxwell Caldwell took over the race lead. So the top 3 drivers right now have been your 3 leaders. Justin Lewis has gotten around Joshua Yarborough. Here is this pass. This is for 4th. If you get a good run coming out of turn 4, get alongside the driver you're trying to pass and then get to the inside. Going into turn 1, that does appear to work quite a bit for these guys as Steven Johnson continues his free fall backwards at Fanatec number 44. Trevor Dalton to the outside, just does clear Trevor Dalton, but has to get back out of it. That was a big moment there for Steven Johnson. Austin Call going down there with him. Johnson, at least for the moment, able to continue on holding this spot, and now Austin Call looked like he got a very good run. Coming out of turn 2, he's going to try to make the pass going into turn 3, and right now the second highest running Toyota moving up into the 8th spot. We have gone caution-free thus far here this evening. Again, this is the longest start to a race we have had without a caution this season. Almost halfway through the 100 laps here at Twin Ring Motegi. Over the first 3 races, we saw 12 cautions at Daytona and 11 at Michigan and Kansas each. 34 cautions in 3 races. That's quite a number as Michael Matta comes down into pit road. This series more or less returning to form here in the land of the rising sun. Justin Lewis continues his march forward, now up into 3rd spot, getting past Mike Peters, who continues to fall back. Most immediately falling back into the clutches of Joshua Yarborough. Yarborough not quite close enough just yet. These 2 drivers here, Peters and Yarborough, with 2 to 3 tenths slower than the race leader. However, Justin Lewis, 2 tenths faster than Maxwell Caldwell, the race leader the last time around. This time, 1/10 faster. Only driver in the 36-second bracket was Justin Lewis. It's not an obscene amount of fall off that these drivers have seen. It's a little bit less than a second depending upon who and where you are and what line you're running. As you see the most recent lap time for each driver as they cross the line up on screen right now. in our timing and scoring tower. So John Wood, the slowest of the three. Justin Lewis certainly the fastest of the top five, and we'll see. Take a look on board. Justin Lewis. Saw him have to catch that little snap of oversteer there. Pit stop should be coming up soon, as Maxwell Caldwell is getting into lap traffic. That is Matt Metler in the 311. So that right there will create a little bit of breathing room for Caldwell. And it looks like Lilith Peters will be one of the first of the leaders to bail out and head down pit road. Peters pitting from inside the top 10 as Mikhail Robinson trying to get back around Adam Lowe. This is to stay in the top 10 for Robinson, and he will. Eric Schaus getting around Austin Call, who decides to pit. Austin Call in his Toyota now coming down pit lane. Mike Peters has Joshua Yarborough still all over the back of him. Wood got a big run coming out of turn two. He will make the dive and he will make the pass, at least for the moment. Hasn't quite cleared Caldwell yet. Now he has. So John Wood, for the first time since the opening salvo here in this race, back in the race lead. And already starting to show a little bit of might. Did a 36.90 that last lap, by far and away faster than anyone has put down here tonight. At least that towards the end of this run. Yarborough still right up to the back of Mike Peters. Unfortunately for Yarborough, not able to make a move now. Here comes the move. As Yarborough will clear Mike Peters finally. And John Wood has taken this race lead and has immediately checked out. 36.90 2 laps ago, 36.80, 36.87. That's 750. Whatever he saved, he's using it now, and boy, is it coming through. First leader to pull out a second lead here in this race, and it looks like he has no intention of letting it slip, especially with how close to pit stops we are. Steven Johnson down pit road, speaking of pit stops. Another 36.90 for Wood. To put that into perspective, that's a quarter of a second faster than Caldwell and Lewis both that last time around. Mark Brown, haven't spoke about him much coming into tonight in the top 5 in point standings. He is down pit road in the number 73. Matt Metler coming out of pit lane. Trevor Dalton now coming in, followed by Mike Peters. So now, as we've crossed the halfway point, Looks as though pit stops are going to be coming as Justin Lewis has gotten around Maxwell Caldwell. That's for second. And Wood continues to extend this lead. It's now up to 1.7 seconds. Top three still not coming in. Mike Peters did pit from fifth. Trevor Dalton not far behind. Both on their way out. Mike Peters had a very fast stop compared to Trevor Dalton, about 2 seconds faster than the 27. Still no sign of pit entry for the drivers inside the top 10. Lilith Peters right now came into pit on lap 44. Just put down the absolute fastest lap of the race of 36.27. Is the first of the drivers who have come into pit. Adam Lowe, Will Solomon coming down pit road now. So that will now leave 7 of the top 9 that have not come down. Johnny Wood stays out. Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell coming in, catching a bit of traffic. So Caldwell, the first of the leaders to come in, which I'm sure will garner a response from Wood and Lewis. Right now, this pair here are losing about a second a lap in time to Lilith Peters. Eric Schaus catching up to Joshua Yarborough as Yarborough peels off of pit road. Maxwell Caldwell on his way out. Joshua Yarborough, as we mentioned, in. Johnny Wood, Justin Lewis, Eric Schaus, Mikael Robinson, and Brandon Murray, the only drivers that have not yet come down pit road. And I think part of the reason why, for Johnny Wood at least, why he's staying out, he's seeing himself staying very, very close to the 73 of Mark Brown. Mark Brown came into pit on lap 49. Justin Lewis has come down pit road. He's given up second. I think Wood might be coming in this time. Yes, he is. That will give the lead of the race over to Eric Schaus if he does not pit. So first and second in. Schaus appears as though he's going to stay out, so he will take the race lead. Now it's just Schaus, Robinson, and Murray. Lilith Peters at the moment will be the race leader when everything cycles out. Maxwell Caldwell getting around Justin Lewis coming out of the pits. Trying to chase down Austin Call. Peters at the moment will have a 3-second advantage over Michael Matta. See what Schaus decides to do here. Not yet. Robinson can't, even if he wanted to at this moment. Car to his inside. Brandon Murray, here he is in the Liberty University number 88 machine. He will not come down pit side either. So the pit cycle has more or less worked its way through, and right now, car number 1 will sit in position number 1 when the top 3 finally decide to come in. Peters has slowly worked her way through the field all race long. And now through pit strategy has gotten herself pretty nice track position, as this right here is your battle for effective P2. That's Michael Matta, Austin Call, Maxwell Caldwell, and Johnny Wood. It's your battle for P5 at the moment. Again, this will become second, third, fourth, and fifth once the stop cycle through. And they are losing ground, this quartet, to Lilith Peters, who has now opened up a 3.3 second gap over this group. So Peters is moving. Matta, Caldwell, and Wood are fighting. Caldwell getting past Austin Call through turns 1 and 2. That will move him into effective P3 at the moment. Caldwell, two-time series champ here. As Brandon Murray comes down pit road from third. Caldwell picking up his first win of the season last week at Kansas, and a fantastic finish. As right now, Eric Schaus shows the way here from Twin Ring Motegi. Schaus, Robinson, Peters, Matta, Caldwell. Schaus and Robinson still need to pit. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Maneki Neko 150 here from Twin Ring Motegi. We'll be back right after this. Tonight's race, held at Twin Ring Motegi, is the only international oval that SCL races at. Tonight's race is named after the Maneki Neko. Maneki Neko translates to beckoning cat. The story of the Maneki Neko goes that a man was outside of a temple during a lightning storm when he saw a cat in the temple that appeared to be beckoning him in. The man decided to go to the cat. As he was headed towards it, lightning struck where he was previously standing. The cat figure is thought to bring good luck to those who display it. Which one of the 24 drivers here tonight will be lucky enough to be beckoned into victory lane? Right now, the beckoning cat is calling for Lilith Peters. However, it may not be calling for her for too much longer, as Maxwell Caldwell has closed up that gap. We saw it during the break that Caldwell has pulled that gap back in, gotten through who he was trying to fight with, namely Michael Matta and Austin Call. Justin Lewis has gotten to these guys as well. Johnny Wood has also fought his way through, and now we have a 4-car battle for the race lead. There they are, all 4 of them. Lilith Peters, will show you here on screen when these drivers all came down pit road, and Lilith Peters, short of Michael Matta, who came in on lap 39, has the oldest tires of the bunch. And Peters really trying to block with Caldwell down at the bottom. Caldwell gets down to the bottom, should be able to get this pass done with little to no issue. But again, Peters, as we've mentioned throughout this race, so good going into turn 3, but the tire advantage for Caldwell will certainly help. I tell you, she's really fighting out there, but unfortunately, the run off the quarter for Caldwell a little bit too much. Now Justin Lewis trying to look to the inside of Johnny Wood. Wood getting very close. I believe they made contact going into turn 1. That will allow Peters to get back to the outside. Justin Lewis looked like he was going to dive under the 1 in the 750. Then pulled back. Wood had committed to the corner, almost runs into the 94. If he didn't, I'll be shocked. And is now going to lose 2 spots because of it. What a dive going into turn 1. As now here comes Justin Lewis looking to the inside of Lilith Peters. He'll get the move done. Let's take a look and see how this went down coming out of turn 4. Take a look at it from on board of Johnny Wood. Caldwell. Wood gets caught up a little bit. Now behind, Lewis looks like he's going to go to the bottom here, then backs out of it, and oh, yep, just the slightest of contact. Between those two. See it one more time. Caldwell's going to get the spot. That wiggle for Peters, backs the 2 up. Look at Lewis go to the bottom, then backs out of it. Looks as though he's going to go to the middle. By that time, Wood already dove in way too deep. Wood has gotten around Lilith Peters. Side-by-side battle just outside the top 5. This is Trevor Dalton and Austin Call. Just behind them, that is Jonathan Casebeer, who has been down pit road. Dalton takes the spot, another driver who's been slowly working his way up through the field. He's back up to the race lead. Maxwell Caldwell opening up a 4/10 of a second gap to Justin Lewis. We saw how electric Johnny Wood was at the end of that first run. He was running a good 2 or 3 tenths a lap faster than the drivers he has currently sitting in front of him. And these three have up and now started to leave Lilith Peters, as you would imagine. With the tire advantage that these three have on that number one, it was always going to be difficult for Peters to be able to maintain that lead that she had. Not only maintain it, but to fend off Caldwell, Lewis, and Wood. If the caution were to come out right at this moment, Todd Merkel, who you see on screen right now, he is the last car on the lead lap, currently running in 17th. Brendan Cornoyer, who you're seeing on screen now in that number 55, he would be the free pass car. But he cannot lay back because the guy he's fighting, Mark Brown, is right behind him. And to make matters worse, Brandon Murray, who he's also fighting, is just behind Mark Brown. So the battle for the free pass position just as close as the battle for the race lead. 18th, 19th, and 20th. Now it looks as though Mark Brown will take that spot, so now Mark Brown will be the free pass car if the caution were to come out. Still incredibly close between the top three. One DNF, Derek Gilray made it to lap 24 before calling it an evening in his opening salvo of the season. Missed the first 3 races. Only makes it 24 laps through round 4. And Carolus Thiel in the 351 did not qualify and did not start this race. So 1 retirement and 1 did not start of the 24 drivers that started this race is Johnny Wood Jr. Pole man here tonight, looking to try to get under that 750. Looking to get under the 7, pardon me. Couldn't quite do it. Todd Merkel now will go to pit road. Brandon Murray, by the way, has gotten around Mark Brown. Brandon Murray came down to pit on lap 60. Brown on 49, Cornoyer on 50. So Murray having the pace that he has compared to the 2 he was fighting just a moment ago for the free pass spot is expected. 20 laps to go. The Maneki Neko 150 here from Twin Ring Motegi. Caution free thus far. Again, we've seen 34 caution flags over the first 3 races of the season. 12 at Daytona, 11 at Michigan, 11 at Kansas. We have gone caution free here tonight thus far. Justin Lewis trying to make a move on that outside, but really gets loose. That opens the door wide open for Johnny Wood to go down the inside line. Wood has the position sent going into turn 1. Again, we saw how quick Johnny Wood was at the end of the first long stint. Now he is free to attack the race leader, Maxwell Caldwell. Wood opened up about a 2-second lead before Lewis came into pit. Here comes Wood right to the bottom. Wood, unfortunately for him, not close enough. The run that Wood gets off the corner. Bit of a block, a little bit of a wiggle, maybe a bump in there too. Just barely getting up into fifth gear. Here, Caldwell feathering, playing with that throttle, coming through 1 and 2. This looks to be it right here. To the outside goes Wood. A little bit of contact, a little bit of a slip maybe from Maxwell Caldwell. Almost door-to-door contact there between the two. Wood on the outside. Caldwell on the bottom. Not quite able to clear. A little bit of contact between the two again. Caldwell's really going to have to fight this. And he knows it too. Look at the dive from Caldwell going into turn 3. He saw how Wood up and ran away. Oh, contact! Caldwell. Fortunately for him, had enough room to save it on this big, wide front straightaway. Unfortunately, it gets Justin Lewis into second spot. And again, Caldwell was going to have to fight that move. Because if he didn't, we saw how Wood up and ran away from the rest of the field from these two. Last time he got in the lead this late in the run. Of course, not wanting to wreck him. But now Wood is setting sail. Already 0.6 of a second clear of Justin Lewis, and for Caldwell, for as extravagant a moment as that appeared to be, didn't lose much, if anything, only lost the spot. He was right back on the back of Justin Lewis, but now because of the heavy battling that he was doing to try to, 1, stay in front of Wood, then 2, try to get back past him, having to reset and regroup a little bit. It's Jeremy Flanagan in the 72 that just got put a lap down. This driver should be good to go the rest of the way. Battle for the lead starting to spread out. Battle to become the lead Toyota in this race is very, very close. Joshua Yarborough in 7th. Austin Call in 8th. Austin Call starting 18th after a poor qualifying effort. Joshua Yarborough starting 6th. These two have caught right back up. Up at the front, it is starting to look inevitable as Johnny Wood continues to pull away. Not pulling quite as much as he had been at the end of the last run, but now certainly you can see he's been quicker than Lewis, but not by much. Caldwell and Lefevre's both catching the fence there coming out of turn 4 in the background. That was a very good lap from Wood. Pulls that gap to over a second. Justin Lewis has gotten 0.8 of a second clear of Maxwell Caldwell, and for Caldwell, I'm sure, traffic of Flanagan, and now he's got Lefevre's on fresh tires. His car owner, Todd Merkel, who is battling with Lefevre's. That's for 20th between the 45 and the 2. Pressuring him from behind, I'm sure, isn't helping him either. So 45 of Johnny Lefevre's. One of the 2 stoppers in this race came into pit on lap 78. Merkel came in on 79. Here comes Lefevre's looking to the inside of Maxwell Caldwell, and Todd Merkel both get through. These 2 battling for position on 20 lap fresher tires than Caldwell. About to do the same thing, it looks like, to Justin Lewis, who's now almost fallen 2 seconds adrift of Johnny Wood. Wood last time around a 36.99. Justin Lewis a 37.40. And the field is now certainly starting to spread out as there's Matt Mettler about to go another lap down. And then after Mettler, it is free and clear. Not free and clear, however, between Eric Schaus and Michael Matta. This is for 9th. Schaus looking to the bottom of Matta. Matta losing the spot. Matta only 1 pit stop in this race. That was back on lap 39. Compare that to Schaus, who came in on lap 63. He was the absolute last car to come down pit road on that first round of pit stops. Again, Matta was the points leader coming into tonight. How about the run that Johnny Wood has had here tonight? Led the first 10 laps after qualifying 0.2 faster than anybody else. Bided his time, saved his tires, waited right up until the very end of that first stint to get back to the race lead from where he set sail and left everybody in the dust. Came out of the first cycle of pit stops in 5th. Bided his time, saved his tires, kept himself in position to get into the race lead, and he has up and left again since getting there. Three seconds and 3 cars, the gap between himself and Justin Lewis. Lewis has put 2.5 seconds on Maxwell Caldwell. Lilith Peters, to her credit, still hanging around in 4th position and has 1.7 seconds back to Trevor Dalton. So she may have lost the race lead, but she certainly will not lose a top 5 here today. Eric Schaus with the tire advantage, now looking to get up to and pass Austin Call. See how much better, and that's 18 lap fresher tires that Schaus has on Call. See how much better he's rolling through the center of the corner. Steven Johnson has gotten around Michael Matta, so Matta out of the top 10. See, coming out of turn 2. Whether or not Schaus can make the move on Call. Call protecting the inside. Schaus will go to the outside and should make the move relatively easily. Just does have him clear. Eric Schaus to P8, but Johnny Wood coming onto the back straightaway. Lit the timing pylon up in qualifying. He has done the same thing in the race here tonight. Johnny Wood comes across the line. He will take his first win here in SCL. The Maneki Neko 150 is his. What a drive from the 750 here tonight. Absolutely incredible. Justin Lewis will come home P2. Maxwell Caldwell will come home in 3rd. And Johnny Wood will celebrate his first victory this season. He is the first driver to go pole to win this season. Waiting to see if we can get him in for an interview, but it looks right now at the moment like we are going to have to go from 3rd to 1st here. We'll give him a little bit of time to get in. Right now, we'll bring in our 3rd place finisher. That would be Maxwell Caldwell. Max, you gave it one heck of a shot trying to get back around Wood after you got to him. Unfortunately, just a little too much Wood was tonight.
Yeah, you can say that.
How difficult was this race? You had quite a good car, it looked like, but then it was just looks as though that 750 had an extra gear that no one else had.
Can't pass, 1-lane track. A lot of guys on the radio all night complaining about the place. And then you get freaking doored from the guy because they can't run you clean. So, yeah, you had to almost wreck to pass, I guess. We saw that tonight.
We had next week, let me actually see here, should be a little bit easier to pass, I would hope, next week. What was the biggest difficulty? I mean, we know the 1 lane, we know the difficult to pass, but was there anything else in particular that was so difficult about this racetrack tonight?
In my opinion, it's not made for next gens, and for a guy to pass you, I guess they got to door you from the outside and knock you in a 4-wheel drift. So, and if your tires went in one slide, you were done the whole run. So, yep.
All right, we head to Pocono next week. What are your thoughts going into the Tricky Triangle?
I like Pocono. I can't remember what the next gen's really like there, but I know going into next week how I can race people. So, hopefully we can pass clean, but people get to my outside, I guess they'll eat the fence and feel what it's like. So,
all right. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As flustered as I am right now, I mean, I'm still thankful to be here. Sponsors, Merkle Racing Engines, Under Pressure Power Washing Systems. Got to thank them guys for being on board, and the teammates. Yeah, sorry, Frank, trying to bite my tongue before I say things I shouldn't.
No, I understand. Your 3rd place finisher tonight, Maxwell Caldwell, bud, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And with that, we'll now move to our 2nd place finisher here tonight, Justin Lewis. And Justin, another good run for you. We're able to move up through the field. It seemed to be with relative ease. However, with what we just heard from Max, it wasn't easy for anyone tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this place is stupid tricky. Hold on 1 second. Let me play with some chats because they're talking.
All good.
Anyway, yeah, it was difficult to pass. I mean, you really had to be particular on how you're going to do it, when to time it right. I mean, everything about the whole race was super intense, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't think we'd ever make it a green to checkered run at Motegi with how interesting this place can be, and usually guys blowing corners every other corner. But it was interesting. I mean, like I said, you really had to time what you could do. And when you did time it right, I mean, it was either make it or break it. And if you didn't, you'd lose more than you gained. So green flag pit stops, I tried to run it as long as possible. I was honestly surprised I made it as far as I did. I mean, I thought I was like 9th or 10th at the beginning of this thing and faded to like 11th. And then I think I made it up to like 8th or 9th. Just kind of being patient, and then me and Adam. I mean, I was trying everything to get around him. I about gave all hope away. Like, this is pointless. I don't know what I'm even doing at this point. But he made one bobble that finally gave me an opportunity, and then I think it was Trevor that got his outside, and that made it really interesting. I was like, screw it, we're already here. We're gonna go for it, and we got them both. And then I kind of pulled away, and then that before the green flag pit stops, which I thought I was the fastest car on the track. But I think the 750 car, he saved enough tire there. Somehow running the same speeds me and Max were, which is quite interesting in my opinion. But all the power to him. I mean, if he can figure this place out better than me. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to be here tonight, to be honest. I had a baby that was supposed to be having that baby today. I had that baby early, so we had her yesterday morning.
Well, congratulations.
And thank you, little baby girl. We got home actually a day early, which allowed me to get lucky enough to be here. But yeah, I really first and foremost want to thank my wife for allowing me to do this after just having a newborn baby. And then hopefully tomorrow and Wednesday I can get on. I don't know if you guys are doing the broadcast or not, but
I don't believe so. We've got most of our guys out at Homestead for the race this weekend.
I gotcha. Well, Tuesdays have been my literal bread and butter. I have not lost a race since the beginning of the season in street stocks or the late model stocks. So I have been killing it this season for those two series, and then dominated the truck race last week. So we've basically had a first, a first, a first, and a second if you count the last 4 SCL races, and then your guys' Memorial race in a car I never ever have drove since like 3 or 4 years ago from when I was in rookies. That was a blast. I would actually, after figuring it out, wasn't too bad, but that was a fun race too, and a good Memorial race for him too. So as always, I just want to thank you guys for being up there, or at least you tonight. I think you're flying solo, if I was seeing that correctly. But good to hear your voice. It's nice to have you back. We hope to see you on Tuesdays, and I can be one spot better as I have been. I think this is the point where they're going to drop a bounty on me. That's what I heard in a rumor mill. And that's funny, just because that makes me want to try even harder. But my only stipulation was if I didn't make this week's race, that doesn't count as beating me. I have to be in the race. So yeah. But no, again, congrats to, I think it was Johnny Wood. He ran a good race. I mean, it got a little interesting there at the end, but I mean, we were all three on different strategies. So, like I said, that was actually a really fun race for this place. And if we can figure this place out, I think we better figure out the rest of them, because this is one of the harder tracks, in my opinion.
Well, that right there is how you conduct an interview. You answer all the questions in one shot. Your second place finisher on New Dad Power, Justin Lewis. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks, Frank. Have a good one.
We have found our race winner, so we will bring him in now. That would be Johnny Wood. And John, how in the world were you able to save up that much tire to be that quick come the end of this race?
Yeah, I think it was trying not to burn it up coming off of 4. It's pretty easy to just get in it too early and come off of 4 and hit the wall, or just spin it coming off the 4, and if you can paint the white line coming out of 2, that'll help save some tire as well, I feel like.
Talk to us about that move that got you past Maxwell Caldwell. We had him in before, and he was a little upset with the door-to-door contact. What was your point of view and your take on the move?
I'd have to rewatch it to be certain. I haven't really watched the replay at all. Uh, was it going into 1?
Yeah, through 1 and 2, yes.
Yeah, 1 and 2. That's really the only chance you can pass somebody here with kind of keeping it semi clean. I was really hoping to get it in there on the bottom and stick it on the white line and hold it down on the bottom, but we seemed to got a little too aggressive. That's really the only place you can pass here unless somebody kind of messes up coming off a 4.
We go to Pocono next week. What are your thoughts going into Pocono?
Well, I done a test session the other day with Pocono, and I don't know if they updated the aero package or what, but I used to be good at Pocono, but for some reason I can't get into 1 no more. So,
Well, good news is you get another update coming up on the 19th, I think the UI said when I logged in earlier
yeah,
today. So,
yeah.
anyone else you want to thank before we let you go?
I guess Snow's performance. He tuned the EFI stuff on this thing and had it pretty dialed in, and Kerrigan's auto sales.
All right, your race winner here tonight, Johnny Wood Jr. Congratulations, bud.
All right, thank you.
And you could definitely see how hard a race that this was for all of these competitors here tonight. I mean, I think that was the fastest we have ever gotten through an interview with Maxwell Caldwell here tonight. You heard just that dejection and anger in his voice after that incident, after a little bit of contact between himself and Wood to get into that race lead. And then after that, Wood just set sail. But an incredible race here tonight. First race of the season with less than 10 cautions is a race with no cautions. So what a turnaround as SCL really getting back into its usual stride, what we're used to seeing with this series over the course of the last couple of seasons that we have been broadcasting them. Very, very nice to see them get back on pace here with a nice, clean, very competitive at that race as well here tonight. We'll take a look now at the finishing results here for tonight's race. Johnny Wood Jr. taking his first win of the year. 4 different races, 4 different winners here thus far this season. Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell, Lilith Peters, and Trevor Dalton, your top 5. Mike Peters, Joshua Yarborough, Eric Schaus, Austin Call, and Steven Johnson, the top 10. Michael Matta, Adam Lowe, Mikhail Robinson, William Solomon, and Brandon Murray, your top 15. Solomon, the final car on the lead lap here this evening. Jeremy Flanagan, Mark Brown, Brendan Kornoyer, Johnny Lefevers, and Todd Merkel, your top 20. Matt Metler, Jonathan K. Spear, Ronnie Hurst, Derek Gilray, the last of the drivers who started. Carlos Steele, the final driver, he did not qualify nor start here in this race tonight. So that will do it for us here from Twin Ring Motegi. We will see you all next week from Pocono, Pennsylvania, in the Pocono Mountains at Pocono Raceway here with the SCL Cup Series. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. We'll see you all next week at Pocono. And remember, as you walk down the road of life, please do not play in traffic. Good night, everybody.